really requires the skill to focus on what you can control. And that is when then we can make the best out of it. Now, some people are fortunate they learned that early on. Some people are fortunate they never had to learn that at all in their lives. And let me go back in time a little bit, and not to share so much about my personal story, because that is really not important, but the lesson in it might be valuable to our listeners. I believe that I was so fortunate when I grew up. I lived in the perfect family setting. My parents were loving, caring. My father did what he was just super good at, and he enjoyed doing it. And my mom did what she loved doing. And then they just went into one direction. And I had a brother who was the best brother in the universe, truly. Bless his heart, Sandro. And when I was 8 years old, an accident happened and my parents got in an accident. My father and his parents died. My mother was the only survivor. What was left over, there was no doubt, based on my creativity, to me it became obvious to make the best out of it as a little girl, 8 years old. Now, why was I able to think that way at all? My parents were very creative people. My father was an inventor. My mother was a fashion designer. My father had his own business and he was ahead of his time a lot. And to me, it was just normal. Okay, so this is what we have. Let's make the best out of it. And I do remember one specific situation because my neighbors, our neighbors, were my parents' best friends. And of course, they were grieving along my brother and I because they lost their best friend and they didn't know if my mother would survive. And when I went over there as this little girl I tried to make the best out of it. And when I saw the mother of my childhood friends, Ingrid, and when I saw her being sad, or when she looked at me with the worrisome look, oh, this poor little girl, what happens to her? What's going to happen with her? I tried to put a spark of hope in there. Now, how was I capable of doing that? Because I was a very creative child based on what I was exposed to. Luckily, that was really fortunate for me. And I learned early on to make the best out of any situation. And then later on, I don't know if anyone is aware of my art. I also have an artistic side to me, and I just do love steel nails. Now, I didn't even know why I loved steel nails. Steel nails are random fasteners. And what's the beauty in it? And why would someone think, okay, so there's this blonde lady. She's an author. She's an international excellence coach. She was in the music industry. She has quite a curriculum. And then why steel nails? Could be anything else. Could be feathers or butterflies or gold petals, whatever it is. Why nails? I didn't even know. But what I know, that I took these nails, steel nails, big ones, 5-inch, 6-inch. I'm talking quite a size here, and I can make beauty out of it. So out of this uncertainty, let's say you have a pound of nails. When you see them, they seem like insignificant. When I see a pound of nails, I see them as very significant. And yes, out of this uncertainty, out of this mess of 1 pound of nails, I'm going to create something beautiful.